All right, everyone. Hey, good to see you. We are super excited for our next Phoebe panel, which is all about using AI to build your real estate business. Matt and I, when we first put together our agenda for this year, we really thought like this was going to, and we always try to do a panel a year that's relevant from a time standpoint. And Matt, I think this is probably the most relevant thing we can do this year as far as real estate's concerned.
Yeah, it's really exciting. You're really interested to see all the ways to implement AI within your business and automate and systematize everything. And honestly, quite a bit of opportunity that's going to come out of this across the board. So I'm diehard into AI myself as well and excited to learn from everybody on the panel here. So just within my business and being able to actually implement things and stuff like that, just ideas. That's the whole point of this, right? It's unlimited possibilities going forward.
All right, well, we've got our three panelists here. You can see we got Anthony, we've got Mike, and we got Buddy. They are going to be in person on Wednesday. But why don't you guys do a quick, just 30-second intro of who you are? Anthony, why don't you go first? Oh, Anthony, I can't hear you. We lost your volume. Actually, while you're getting that squared away, Mike, why don't you go? Give us your 30 seconds.
Hey everybody, Mike Ducey, real estate investor, done well over 1,000 transactions in over 250 cities throughout California. Whether it's a short sale, wholesale, retail, or a premium master lease option, whether you get creative with seller financing or sub-2 deals and dealing with private or institutional hard money, we cover everything in between. And it's a lot of fun, and AI has been just making it all the more funner.
Love it. Love it. Buddy, how about yourself?
Yeah, I I have a business that helps veterans and first responders around the country build financial freedom with real estate. And that's what we've done for 15 years. But we since in the past year changed that to real estate and artificial intelligence because we've adopted in our company and in our community the sort of mantra AI or die, because we believe that in the next 3 years everyone, regardless of who you are, will stratify into one of two camps: those that are fully embracing and utilizing AI, and those that are outcycled by those that are using AI. And it really is that simple. So we do everything. We buy all over the United States, and we've launched something called the Hyperion campaign right now, buying in the path of progress of these multi-billion-dollar data centers, which has just blown it off the top this year.
Love it. Love it. Anthony?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you're good.
Awesome. All right. So I guess I'm a little bit different than the other speakers you have in here. So I am a real estate broker and also a AI speaker. So I speak for Vistage, which is an international company. In fact, I'm speaking in Canada in about 2 weeks. I've built a bunch of applications, very tech focused, but also real estate focused. So we have the whole operation. I've pretty much automated essentially everything that has to go with our business, from social marketing. I've just launched a whole series for an actual sales app for our team that allows our agents to kind of compete with each other. We just Claude code nonstop for the past 3 weeks till 3 o'clock in the morning every night. So that's kind of what I do.
Awesome. So, Matt, we've got a bunch of AI nerds on this panel on Wednesday night. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait.
For sure.
Yeah.
These guys are gonna be rich though using Claude Code. They basically have free employees now, or for the price of a computer, or an old computer even. So it's
Yeah.
really, really cool what you can
We,
do with
we
implementing that too.
we may not even want to touch on OpenClaw, all of the emergent agentic capabilities that portends. It's insane. It's insane.
You have that running, buddy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got multiple instances. Yeah.
Did you let it do it full? I mean, there's also I have it too, but I've kept some barriers so it doesn't go completely into my life.
A hundred, 100%. Yeah, no, you can't let it run wild. It's like this little gremlin that, like, you don't really know what it is really doing. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things we can talk about. I'm very curious, buddy, how you're using it, because I've been using it quite a bit. And there's not a lot of people that actually have in our space fully adopted OpenClaw or ClaudeBot when it was called. But it has changed everything. It's a constant companion with me. I'm talking to it on the phone while I'm in the car.
Yeah.
And it's building applications, building decks, doing CMAs. It's just crazy what it can do.
Yeah, I think Anthony, it's probably best for like a side conversation where we dive super deep as far as the panel goes. I mean, if they want to get into it, I'm more than happy. Shoot, I'll talk about mass drivers off the moon and data centers in space, which is the next big frontier for Elon Musk. I'll talk about it all. I don't care because this is all I think about and all I do every day. But if we want to make it relevant, I'm happy to just focus on real estate.
Yeah, I think focusing on real estate, and I think probably the biggest thing is going to be giving people information that they actually understand, even if they don't understand AI, right? Like taking some of these concepts and making it simple and
Sure.
understandable is going to be key. All right, so what? Obviously, look, I think I've got Claudebot down here. I think looking at using it AI like as a almost like a virtual assistant, is that a good way of describing what Claudebot is?
Just to be clear, it's OpenClaw. It
Open
started
Claw?
as Claudebot, and then Claude actually from Anthropic. So Dario Amodei actually threatened to sue because of copyright infringement. So they bounced into the welcome open arms of OpenAI and Sam Altman. And so now OpenAI has bought them in its OpenClaw. But yes, it's called emergent agentic capabilities, meaning it's alive. It's not just responding to your messages. It's an actual, let's call it alive. For it's not, but let's call it that, where
Right.
it can automate, but not just automate. It can also it has emergent capabilities. It can ask questions. It can think on its own, and a variety of other things like that.
So
Hmm.
the one thing about OpenClaw in general, Buddy doesn't look like it, but he's a deep nerd because it takes a certain skill set to get it set up properly. It's not easy for the regular layman, but eventually this will be the future. We
Mm,
expected this to happen about 5 years ago, and it's actually happening now. So
mm.
it does require certain technical aptitude, which you have, Buddy, in order to get that going, because it's not for the faint at heart.
Well, so actually, this is a great point to hit on. I actually don't, but my team does. And so this is really a key point: is you don't actually have to be in the world of Claude Code, which is completely different, right? The codex, and in the world of vibe coding and of things like that, like you, the level of technical expertise that's required to do things that previously required the ability to code in Python or C++ or whatever, it's not required anymore. Now we
So may
can
I
go off.
translate what you just said? So when I speak to executives, I try to make sure I keep it. So you dropped a lot of great stuff there. So Codex is their actual kind of a competition of Claude Code from OpenAI. And then
Mhm.
Claude Code itself has a number of different layers, which they're kind of the winners, but Gemini is getting close. So you have Claude Cowork, which using different types of skills and that kind of thing. And then you have Claude Code, which is my partner in crime and everything I'm making. So you dropped a lot of great, like these are, it's
And that's what he's
fast.
talking about. So
Yeah.
Anthony's talking about vibe coding. That I'm
Right.
assuming you're just
Yeah,
talking about straight.
yeah, yeah.
And vibe coding is literally, it's a cool sounding word. All it means is plain language speak. Hey, Bill, I can show you this. I did this one time at an event. I said, come up to me, sit down with me in 5 minutes. I will build you a 90-day business plan with actionable items, straight to revenue source, and a website in less than 10 minutes. And like I used something simple like Lovable, and I literally just said, the guy wanted to do skydive resale gear, right? Which is kind of an interesting thing. It's like used skydiving gear, but that was another thing. Anyway, so he was, so I asked him his name and this and that, built up a business plan, and then I literally said to Lovable, I said, "Here's this guy's name. He's a Navy veteran. He wants to do a skydive gear resale page. Make it awesome. Make it really accessible to people who love skydiving and even people who don't." Boom. That was it. That was my vibe code. And it
Hmm.
made a great website in like 10 minutes.
And that's Vibe, VIBE code. That's what you call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called
Yeah.
vibe coding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing too that, because I have about 27 agents that work for us and trying to get this back to the salespeople and how you actually make and sell real estate. And I've been pointing them all to GPTs for OpenAI, kind of we talked about. I usually don't say vibe coding for the normal salesperson because they're there to sell. So, but
Sure.
one thing that I've seen really that has really impressed me has been Claude Cowork, where they're now starting to have these interaction with PowerPoint. It's becoming
Yeah.
so simple
Yeah.
that it is truly an agentic partner in what you do. But again, going back to sales, yes, that's what Mike is talking about. We want to
Yeah.
make sure that you focus on actually selling real estate. And it is now my comp analysis. If I do rent surveys, it's just stellar. I'm still reviewing everything as a broker, but adding that domain expertise that all of us have here with these type of code is accelerated my ability to do so much more than I ever have been in the past.
Yeah.
This is just recent too.
That's the low hanging fruit. Property management agreements, inspection reports, like everything. Like, I have houses that I'm building in Florida right now, and this is a side thing, but like, the guy that's building them, I guess didn't pay a bunch of bills, and so I got this slew of liens. Well, if you notice when you get a title report, it's like 87 pages. And you're like, what do I really care about this? I care about the liens that are outstanding that I need to pay so there's a clear title. Uploaded it into ChatGPT, optical character recognition, meaning it can read anything that you write, including pictures. And in 16 seconds, it told me exactly, and then I had it reviewed and it was correct because it can make mistakes. So that is one point Anthony was mentioning. Right. You don't want to just press I believe because it doesn't care if you lose your house,
So Mike, I know when we first talked a while back, you guys were using it actually helping to try to find property as well. Like, what are some of the things that you think are going to be interesting to talk about on Wednesday about how you're using it to locate properties?
There's so many things in my experience that I found AI can do that I don't care about. I care about clean data, as much data as humanly possible, stick it in a pipeline to where I can identify owners of property, back trace, skip trace, forward trace, breadcrumb. I don't care. How can we communicate to these people through text message, email, phone calls? How can we get them in our funnel and say, hey, raise your hand. You interested in selling? Okay, cool. Now, most people I've found, they ask a lot of questions, but they don't essentially know what the answers really mean and where it's leading them. Mm-hmm. They're not listening for those black swans. They're listening to ask the next question. They're not really listening to understand what's this person's specific situation. What pillar do they fall into? Is this a makeable deal? Is it an unmakeable deal? Essentially, now with the rules engines and things that are, they're agentic, and we have our small language model, versus these large language models that are just huge, and these simplistic systems like Zillow just gives you a price versus a smart system that can actually say, hey, this is what the property qualifies for. This is how you could take this deal down. And this is what the person's looking for. And if it doesn't fit in my bucket, it fits in Buddy's bucket. It fits in Anthony's bucket. It fits in David's bucket. We don't know. We know nothing except get as much information as possible, clean it, communicate, and literally have all these questions, extract all the amazing things that we cannot do with real estate because it's a massive, and I mean like so many massive things you can do with real estate that people don't really understand, but they know it exists. So now, essentially, people are going to be able to have an engine that says, they qualify for the short sale, the wholesale, retail, premium. By the way, creative financing over here. Oh, by the way, we do have an army of private investors, and here's our institutional investors. You can relate things of that nature. Rent. It's just so many things that it's not about being the baddest real estate investor in the world or doing the most deals. Somebody's going to come in quicker than you and eat your lunch. That's it.
It's really cool to look at this from that business perspective on each person's individual business. Like we're using it for quarterly reports. We're actually having our emails written for us in our own language, so we have it, 3/4 of the way there, probably most of the time, right? And we're putting in all kinds of different automations and accredited investor letter automations and things like that, and creating hooks and marketing strategies, and being able to create using Notebook LM videos or short 5-minute overview videos of our investment strategies and things like that. It just adds so much more bandwidth to be able to create content on that side. And if you look at this from your business's processes standpoint, if you outline every single process in your business, you're going to be able to automate a giant portion of that. So just going through and getting really good and using AI to show you the process that you do in the first place and document your processes even. So it's really exciting to be able to, I guess every business owner's dream to figure out a way to do nothing and still make a bunch of money, So
that's what AI is doing though. It's doing the same thing, except it doesn't make any money. It's just costing you money.
Yeah.
All right, so look, I've got a couple of topics that I kind of pulled together through here. Obviously, we've got business process automation. Matt, you brought that up. Marketing materials, Anthony, you kind of touched on that on some of the stuff that you're doing. I think you're doing communications, right? Like investor communications is something we're doing. Reporting is something you're using AI for. Doing due diligence on properties and even locating properties. You guys are all, I think, using due diligence to kind of help accomplish some of those different tasks. Any other high level tasks like that that you think would be important to talk about on Wednesday?
Yeah, so for us, the most practical application of AI in real estate for us is what we're called a Hyperion campaign. So there is a very briefly, we're in an AI arms race with China, right? Everybody knows that. It's from the executive office on down. It's a national security imperative to beat China to artificial general intelligence. Well, in order to do that, you have to have a chain of different layers. It starts with energy, right, which is a massive, massive shortfall. That's why, it's all about solar and the small modular nuclear reactors and so on and so on. Well, that energy powers these critical data centers, these massive Manhattan-sized data centers that they're putting in all over the United States. Those are filled with these chips, which is why NVIDIA is a $5 trillion company. And that is the layer upon which these frontier labs like OpenAI and so on create these chat GPTs and these large language models, right? And that manifestation of AI is ultimately what gets us to AGI. Okay, so that little 60-second, that chain is really important because there's investment opportunities at every single layer of that chain, depending on who you are. So what we're doing is we looked and said, okay, for instance, Meta is putting a Manhattan-sized data center called Hyperion. It's a 4 million square foot campus, $30 billion worth of infrastructure in the middle of a place called Richland Parish, Louisiana. Richland Parish is a parish of 18,000 people where the median household income is 53,000 and the median home price is 150,000. Okay. So when you look at that and you frame it across the landscape of the rest of the United States, this is farmland. And you're putting the largest infrastructure project in the history of the state in this farmland. So what happens if you buy real estate around that area? And so I was like, I don't know. So this was like a year ago. I was like, I don't know. It seems like a good idea, but let's figure it out. Fast forward, we took a group full of people and we used everything from Claude to Gemini to Grok to whatever. And we created this due diligence process driven by AI that created a full investment thesis that we have on our dashboard now. And it created a dynamic dashboard to be able to find deals that would benefit from the path of progress infrastructure improvements as well as cash flow at the same time. And then we used the AI to find the team on the ground. And then we used it to, right? And so we built the team on the ground. Now we launched it 4 months ago. And now we're a dozen properties in and we've got another dozen in escrow and they're cash flowing like crazy. And it's the best campaign so far that we've ever done. But it was all driven by the AI analytics and the fact that the stack upon which this AI arms race is being built provides opportunities for real estate investors.
I love that. And I think that'll be, I know there's so many of them, like, it's not just using AI,
everywhere.
it's
Anybody can
capitalizing
grab
on
their
the
own data
AI
center and go buy a bunch of
industry.
property.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What-
There's no scarcity whatsoever in this game.
Yeah.
One thing that I typically share, because when I speak around the country and I've spoken to other real estate agents, is that I know that I overwhelm people, especially, buddy, I can tell your knowledge base is pretty high up, but most people just want to do sales. They want to get a deal done. And AI itself, because it changes and it's progressing so quickly, to get your arms around it it's hard for normal people. And I'm going to say I'm abnormal. I'm just say that right now. So one thing that I really try to help is like, okay, just start, do it, and get that one thing and get that one thing done. Because what's going to happen, whatever engine you pick, it's going to get better. They go back. It's like a horse race. Right now, Claude's ahead. Gemini is going to be ahead probably in a month from everything I've been seeing, especially with the whole universe it's in. OpenAI was ahead. It's now behind. So just picking one and just figuring out what that is absolutely key. I have a website. It's at techtony.co that I have links that's available for just normal people to download things, the actual links to the different items. Because if you go on to the websites for like your phone, you'll see a bunch of, they're not OpenAI. These are the actual ones itself, but just get a free account. I always advise to get a paid account. Just pay the $20. It's worth its weight in gold. I paid the $200 for Claude Code. Don't tell my wife, but I did pay the Claude Code because I was
probably going to see this,
whole
Tony, and she's coming. She's coming to the event on Wednesday, just so you know. Yes,
just use it. Just use it. That's
Worth
the
it.
main thing.
well,
And
and look, I think in the spirit of just get started, come to Phoebe on Wednesday night. Like this is going to be a conversation we are going to keep going in depth on. Guys, thank you for this. I think it's going to be a really interesting panel. We're going to touch on all these things in more details. You can find the information to sign up below. Come hear these incredible gentlemen talk about a world. And even if you only understand 30% of what they're talking about, you're going to be 30% smarter than you were on Wednesday morning. So I highly encourage you to come check it out.
David,
Matt,
I like to say something real quick, because how does this apply to you? How do you take direct action? Not everybody has to be Buddy and Anthony and Matt. They don't have to. Like, he's got his unlimited plan with Claude. That's not unlimited. We get freaking timed out every day. So when you're using these things at a high level, it's wild. But I'm a regular guy. I don't even know how my cell phone works. You think I know how the internet works through the satellites or the phone goes through? I don't need to. I just know.
Nobody does.
Right, buddy? Think about it.
Nobody does. You're absolutely right, Mike.
Right.
Nobody needs to know this kind of stuff.
Nobody, and I'm saying nobody needs to understand how these things are going to work. Very, very soon, there are going to be new companies that are just going to work. No different than how Coca-Cola was only possible because of the refrigerator. Refrigerator made Coca-Cola what it was, massive. And that's what AI is for the future of everybody else, who's building out systems so we can hand over to the people and everybody do deals.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll see you on Wednesday night. And hopefully, if you're watching this, we'll see you on Wednesday as well. Thank you.
You boys.
See ya. Take care.